It's Rory Jennings, I'm Jason Cundy. Still come and take more of your calls on Liverpool's crisis with a capital C or a small c, 03 717 223344. And because in under an hour's time it's going to be Halloween, yes, it's going to be the 31st of October. We have a special midnight ghost train. Get your calls in about anything paranormal, any stories, spooky stories, maybe ectoplasm has landed on top of your head, maybe a phantom has turned up in, at the top of your bed as you wake up, or maybe there's a headless horseman as you wake up. No. Anyway. 03717223344. First, though, we're looking at a game of the weekend. Spurs take on Chelsea. There's always something that happens. There's always drama, a red card, maybe sometimes two, depending on what Spurs are up to on the day. There's always goals. There's always something. 03717223344. First, though, here is our feature. The scarves are off.
It's absolutely disgusting. I've had enough, mate. It's just ridiculous. They really are miles behind everyone else.
I think we're going to win it this season.
It's not good enough. That'll be Deer's top of the league, eh?
What a player he is. Honestly,
they haven't got a chance. Come on.
I'm not going to be nice. I want to rub it in.
The scarves are off.
Yes, this is a regular feature here on the Spooks Bar. Scarves are off, and every Thursday we choose one of the big weekend fictions, put a fan from each side, and they go head-to-head in the game. Yes, introduce the home corner tonight from North London. It's Ricky Saxy Sax from the Last Word on Spurs podcast. Ricky, happy Halloween to you, sir. How you feeling?
Happy Halloween, boys. Chelsea coming to Tottenham. Never a good sign, never a good sign. I think I'm 3-0 down already in the studio there, so forgive me already and put me on a handicap.
Yes, you're slightly outnumbered. You've got me, Rory, and now we're going to introduce from the blue corner. Yes, it's time now to speak to David Chidge. Chizzy is on the line from the Chelsea Fancast. Chidge, how are you, bud?
Cundy and Rory.
I know.
It's like Chelsea TV, mate. I'm loving it.
Yes, feels like it. It feels like it. How are you feeling ahead of this and Halloween? Is it going to be a horror show?
Well, I mean, I am a bit worried, but then it's Spurs, isn't it? So, I shouldn't really be, should I? Our record there's phenomenal.
Right, okay, let's start off with Ricky, the home side. Ricky, look, you go into this in really mixed form. I know you're third in the table. It's a disappointing result last night, but your home form, I cannot get my head around what I've seen in the performances at home. How are you feeling? I know it's Chelsea. I know these games can throw up anything, as we've seen, but how are you personally feeling right now?
Well, Cundy, look, we spoke many years about this fixture. I dread it. I hate it. I can't stomach it or stand it. The home record this season is really, really bad. No, let's not get away from that. And Spurs need a statement home win. I think it'd be fair to say, I'm sure the boys, if they're honest about themselves, Chelsea aren't the Chelsea of what you'd maybe describe Chelsea as being as a great side in the last kind of 10, 15 years when they were winning trophy after trophy, despite Maresca delivering a couple of trophies so far in his reign. I think Spurs can take the game to Chelsea. I think they are gettable, but you can't get away from just how poor our home record is. So I think Chelsea will come to Spurs buoyant by the record for sure, and their mentality of always coming to Spurs and winning. But at the same time, it's not the greatest Chelsea side that I've seen. And I do think they're gettable, which will probably be my famous last words on the back of that.
Chidge, talk to me. It's called 3 Point Lane for a reason. We've got a phenomenal record against Tottenham that stretches right back to the old White Hart Lane pre-Abramovich. We have an excellent record at the new stadium. In fact, no team has gone to that new ground and won more than us. We're just going to add to that tally this time, aren't we?
Well, I would like to think so, Rory. I mean, the record certainly speaks for itself. I mean, I am a bit worried. I mean, I was listening to you guys earlier, and I share that concern because we're schizophrenic. I mean, there's no other word for it. We change from minute to minute, let alone half to half and game to game. But the thing is, will Spurs play 5-4-1? Will they do lots of long balls? Will they do lots of long throws? And will they bully us in the box? I think the answer to that is probably no. I think they'll come at us because, for them it's a big game like it is for us. And I think if they play like that, we can get at them. We certainly proved that we can score a lot of goals this season. So, I would worry if they played low block, but I just don't see them doing it.
Chidge, and this is a question to both of you. I'll come to you, Chidge, first. And this fixture goes back like to like early 90s. All right?
When you were playing for us almost.
When I played in the beginning of that very, very long run, right? Then, but the thing that amazes me about this fixture is that it doesn't matter what managers come and go, what players come and go, what era it is, how many decades. There is something about this fixture that everyone on the pitch, the manager in the dugout, all the fans, of course we get it, but everyone seems to get it. It never seems to fail, this fixture. Why do you think that is, Chidge? And I'll ask you that in a second, Ricky. Why do you think that is, Chidge?
Well, I think, you know what, I think they do get it because they get it from the supporters. I mean, I remember a few years ago, and you both will, no doubt, when we were having a shocking season. We went to Bournemouth, and we won 3-0, I think. And all the support, I was there, it was great.
We were just singing about the next week, weren't we?
Well, I can't sing exactly what we sang, but the inference was you have to beat Tottenham. Yeah. And it really felt like the players got that message. And I think even, like you said, I mean, the turnaround of the squad and everything over the last few years has been incredible. And yet I still think they understand it, as the last two games up there have proven. I mean, 5-1, 4-3. We always turn up for Tottenham. It's what we do. Why
do you think that is, Rick? And this is... It's a special fixture, and I think as a neutral, I think this is probably the fixture that most fans look at, because it's got real bite and it's got something underneath that vitriol that you absolutely need in a really big derby game.
Yeah, I mean, look, amongst the Spurs fan base, there's been that thing saying, we hate Arsenal because they're our rivals, but with Chelsea we hate them because we're human beings. I don't know what it is with this Chelsea fixture. It's just it's been really spicy this last 5-10 years. And I think it goes back to the Pochettino era, obviously, where Spurs obviously had that failure at the bridge of not getting over the line there, which disrupted, of course, our title charge under Pochettino. I think, this game has always got goals in it, hasn't it? It's always got, controversial moments, red cards, late challenges.
Yeah.
And there's always spice to this. So, look, no matter where it is in the season, it always feels like a pivotal game for Spurs, and especially the last couple of seasons, that when it comes to match week 10 at the moment, I just keep saying it on last week on Spurs, we've got to get past match week 10 and still have half the squad fit. But we're going into the game with half the squad missing. So... yeah, there's a bit of concern at the moment, but look, Tottenham do need a statement home win. And I think, there'll be nothing better for Thomas Frank to get that statement home win at home to Chelsea. There's a few murmurs at the moment that, some aren't fully on board with the brand of football, especially at home. So the greatest way for Thomas Frank to answer some of those critics is to get a home win over Chelsea, which is long overdue.
Here, Ricky, can I ask you, actually, right? Cards on the table from my perspective. My entire rivalry revolves around Tottenham. Don't get me wrong, there's an honourable mention to other clubs.
I know, mate, we've seen it.
Yeah, there's an honourable mention to lots of other clubs, but I do see Tottenham as our biggest rival. Tottenham are the team that we sing about. Tottenham is a fixture that you look for very early when the fixture list comes out. Tottenham away is a ticket that you're scrambling for, and we will forever sing about Tottenham. You are our rival. Obviously, you are seen as having that rivalry with Arsenal, but how palpable... How much of what I've just said about the way we feel about you would you reciprocate? Do you feel that way about us?
100%. Look, for me, Arsenal still is the biggest London derby of the season for us, but behind that slightly is Chelsea. There's no doubt about that. This fixture has grown in real, spice, definitely in the last 10, 15 years. I think it's fair to say that. I mean, I think, it's one of those things where, look, we relish looking forward to the North London derby. We love beating Arsenal, but I think that's only, like you said, reciprocated there by how much we'll have also beaten Chelsea. And to be fair, look, we've not done that enough, definitely in the last kind of 3-4 years for certain. And I think going into this game, I think the pressure is on Spurs to deliver at home. The home form hasn't been anywhere near good enough. And I keep on saying that it does feel for Thomas Frank, this is a real opportunity to kind of state a claim now at home, needing a big home win. It goes back to, I think, Pochettino's first year in the job at Tottenham, where he got that big home win against Chelsea on New Year's Day, 5-3. It feels like for Spurs, this will be a massive win if they can get it, that I think would light the touch paper for Thomas Frank to really, I think, go on to have a really good first season at Tottenham. But we need to beat Chelsea. I think, again, the concern will be, I know we've got injuries, which we might touch upon. We don't use that as an excuse. I think the 11 that
sounds like it, Rick. It's the second time you mentioned the injuries, mate. Honestly, listen, I don't want to dig you out early on, but Ricky, what sort of form are Spurs in? Because I've seen you play well. I've seen you play indifferently and I've seen you play poorly. And that probably, the fact you're third is quite remarkable, actually, because you're not playing like a team that strikes me as being third. But after 9 games, you get there. How do you feel this team is capable of performing at home against Chelsea? Because as we've already highlighted, you've been very, very average at home.
Yeah, we have been. You can't get away from that. You know, our form in terms of our consistency has been away from home. Obviously, we've been unbeaten away from home. We've had that frustrating defeat to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. It was never going to be an easy game up at the St James's Park, and we need a reaction. I mean, in terms of the home form, look, it has been nowhere near good enough, and that's why I do think you got some murmurs out there, some fans being unhappy because they've just simply not seen enough at home to give them confidence that we are going to make it a fortress. But there's no better time to turn that feeling around at home to Chelsea. October time, you know, it's crazy to think we're only searching for our second win at home since the Burnley game, which is mad. So we need to, I think, you know, really bring a statement win at home, but it won't be easy. It won't be easy. And like I say, Chelsea have got a formidable record at Spurs. And you go back to a number of years, Rory mentioned it there, kind of they refer to it as 3-point lane. But I do think this is a Chelsea side that is gettable because they have been so up and down for a lot of the season. You know, again, for some of their great wins they've had, I mean, you know, Cundy as well, been so poor at times. So it's a side that if Tottenham turn up and give their everything, they can definitely beat Chelsea. But we've got to be on the we've got to be on the ball. Got to be on the ball for the game.
And for it to go well for us, Chidge, we've got to find some consistency. We've got to learn how to win again. Obviously, last week was a complete and utter disaster against Sunderland, and we've actually lost 3 out of our last 5 Premier League games. Why is this consistency under Maresca such a problem?
Well, I think most people are saying it's what you get when you've got a lot of young players. But I mean, you've also got, I mean, you know, the players like Tosin are 28. So I mean, they're not babies. You know, I wonder if it's a mentality, Rory. I was thinking about it after the game last night. You know, when they scored last night, they suddenly started pinging the ball around really quickly, doing exactly what we want them to do, and they look good. The minute they conceded a goal, they revert back to type, which is they look like rabbits in the headlight, you know, passing backwards, sideways. So I wonder if it's a mentality / confidence issue as well. They seem to be a bit soft. They get rocked really easily. I mean, if you know, I know you go to the games like I do, and you see it when we concede a goal, they there's something just snaps and they just look frightened, you know. So maybe it has something to do with that.
We don't deal with bloody noses. I've said this before. We get a punch on the nose. And we just don't deal with it, and we get rocked on the ropes. And there we are. We're there for the taking. We saw it last night. Perfect example. This game has over the years had a number of controversial moments. Some red cards that were given, some that weren't. Our record at the minute, Chidge, with red cards is it's. I know. Look, we laugh, but
over that continues.
It's no. Well,
it probably will.
Well, there's a red card in this game waiting. That's how it feels for me.
If look, we've got a terrible disciplinary record. If the players don't get sent off, the manager does. but in this fixture, I mean, it's a tinderbox, isn't it? The fuse will be lit, and we will lose our heads. It's almost a guarantee. It
is a guarantee, isn't it? And I mean, you know, Spurs will probably be much the same. I mean, I was there a couple of years ago. You got 2 sent off, didn't you, Ricky? So it's a tinderbox. And but I do wonder with our. I mean, the irony is, of course, is that we don't get anybody booked or sent off, you know, on Saturday. But if you're a betting man, you would certainly bet that one or both sides will lose some players. But I don't know. I mean, I was going to ask Ricky, actually, because he and I have talked about this in the past, but, you know, there's a psychological damage that we've inflicted on you lot because we've beaten you so many times over the years. Is that still alive and kicking, Ricky?
Oh, yes. Chidge. Still alive and kicking. Absolutely dread this fixture. We keep on saying it. We just keep saying we've got to get past match week 10 with half the squad fit. But I keep saying it. We're going into it with half the squad not even available for this one. So look, I know I've said that 33 times now, and Cundy's taking notes. And we keep saying that. I feel like I'm Anne from last season to keep mentioning the injuries, but
listen, boys.
Hopefully not so much of a high line this time around. Right. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Listen, boys, appreciate it is a special fixture. And there's nothing, you can't enjoy these games until the full-time whistle. These aren't games you enjoy. You can't wait to. It's one of those. The anticipation, the build-up is brilliant, but you can't enjoy them. Rick, I'll come to you first, bud. Team selection, you've got loads of injuries apparently. What's the score?
I haven't said it, Cundy. I've not said it at all.
Give me a score.
Oh, I can't come here on predicted defeat, can I? I'll say a 2-1 Spurs win, and finally Frank gets that statement home win. We need it. We need it.
Chidge?
Well, it's 3-1 to Chelsea right now, and I'm going to stick with that.
It's 3-1. All right. Boys, appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, Chidge.
Good to see you, boys.
Ricky,
Take
hope you
care,
have a
boys.
terrible one. Cheers, matey. Cheers, boys. There you go. Ricky Sachs from the Spurs, was the Spurs podcast there, and Chidge as well from a Chelsea podcast. Appreciate their time there. Looking ahead to it. You and I, listen, I felt a bit sorry for Ricky there because, you know, he's got outnumbered there.
He did well. He held his own.
He did hold his own. He pulled the old injury card, getting his excuses in early.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
it's not his first rodeo, is it?
Well, he's not, but I mean, look, I don't want to lean on injuries. He's got our fair
Do
share.
you know what, though, Jason? I wouldn't say this in front of a Tottenham fan, and I didn't want to bring it up to Ricky, but I would honestly, if just you and I were talking, I'm worried, more so than ever. Usually, when we're playing Tottenham, I'm so confident. It doesn't matter what's going on at Chelsea. I just think, but it's Tottenham. We'll beat Tottenham. Yeah. But this feels different. I don't know why I'm worried.
We have not been great.
And he's a good manager, Frank.
Yeah,
they've got a good manager now.
But it's Spurs.
But it's Tottenham.
Sorry, yes.
But for the first time in ages, maybe in decades, I feel like we're going there and they have a better manager.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see both teams bring the Ray game, right? And may the best team win, because that I want to see. Because if both teams bring the Ray game and there's an early goal, this could be a powder keg.
It's funny how that's how we go in it. Our rationale for winning this game. Why are Chelsea going to win? You go, we're probably not, but it's Tottenham, so therefore we will.
Yeah, go for
it. But it's Tottenham, so we will.
There you go. There's our feature. The scarves are off. Thank you very much from Ricky Sachs from the Last Word podcast, and of course Dave Chidgey there from Chelsea Fancast. This is the Spooks Bar here on talkSPORT. He's Rory Jennings. I'm Jason Cundy. Still to come though, we have a special midnight ghost train getting your calls about anything paranormal. Any ectoplasm that might have seen dangling from your ceiling. How did it get there, you ask yourself? 03717223344. Keep the calls coming. And it's now time for the latest odds in association with talkSPORT Bet.